Greetings, Light Tribe. Janine Palmer here, Spirit Silver Moon. And I'm doing a little video today that's going to be called Weapons of Mass Destruction on Sundays and the Evening News. And it's basically inspired by a conversation that I had with someone who I feel is very informed, and we all are at different levels, about certain things that plague humanity today, well, they have for millennia. And he was saying, thank you, Steve, that the two biggest weapons of mass destruction are religion and politics. And I have to concur with that. And I do a lot of writing about that myself as well. And sometimes people just put it in a particular way that's like, yeah, that's powerful. That makes a lot of sense. It's a shorter way to say something that we sometimes try to express in a more longer or drawn out way. So they are interpretations of something. They are beliefs or belief systems or interpretations or misinterpretations. They are viewpoints. And a lot of us feel very strongly about them, sometimes about one side or the other, of it. And sometimes we are very strong on one side, but we really might not know as much about the other side as we think we do, because we're too busy attacking it and we're not taking the responsibility to learn about what is our supposed enemy. And people who view you as a threat, whether it's dark or light, whatever it is, will probably attack. Sometimes will attack you verbally or whatever way, because we fear what we don't understand, and sometimes we attack it. So those are the things that keep mankind warring against one another. And we all have a viewpoint or perspective, or a limited viewpoint or perspective, depending on the information that we have to date, the information that we've gathered in the way we understand it, how open we are or how closed we are, how our perspectives change or don't change, our behavior patterns, our reactions or responses to things, how kind we are to others or how we aren't, is all a reflection of what's going on within us. So, for instance, we have teachers in life, whether it's in school or just in life, friends, family, whoever it is, even enemies, that we learn from. So when you engage with someone in conversations or activities or whatever the classroom setting is, whether it's an actual class and you're learning from a teacher or a professor, whether it's a preacher in a church, whether it's a friend, whether you watch things on TV or YouTube videos, or you read, you're gathering information, knowledge, information, wisdom. So sometimes we will take that wisdom and do something with it. So like for me, I've done a lot of reading and studying, and I've had a lot of in-depth conversations with a lot of people, a lot of wise people who I call my teachers, my guides, whatever. I learned from them. And so I might take a word or two, a line, and I will write something about it. So I might take that and write a poem about that and what it means to me. Sometimes I write something and take something from the poem and make a title, or the writing and make a title, or sometimes I have a title and I write something to go with it, because I can pull from that my perspective, my experience, what I learned from something. So different things inspire different people. Inspiration is free. So we might take something, that was spoken or said that resonates with us. It means something to us. It triggers something to us. We realize what we learned from that thing, or we might have a message to share about that thing. So different people do these things for different reasons. So as I said, we are inspired by things. We take what we learn and we do something with it. We are co-creators. We have permission to create. It's okay for us to feel inspired and do something with it, as long as we honor other people. As long as we are fair, we're not dishonoring, we're not taking. So when we're inspired and we do something with that inspiration, it's not stealing ideas. Okay, some people, there's a funny meme that says, they might see you walk on water and they'll say, oh, it's just because they can't swim. They want to put you down. They don't want to acknowledge what you do or why sometimes. I've been writing for years, and I started to have little collections of it, and I started to put it in book form. I put my writings out there almost every day for free, and then I put them into collections that I have to pay to publish. And I offer them if people like the work and they want it. There it is. Okay, so sometimes people copy. Okay, my daughter had a friend used to copy her, constantly used to drive her up the wall. And they say imitation is the best form of flattery. So sometimes when people are imitating or emulating you, it's because they like it, they admire you. Now, we should have our own identities. So it's not like that you're just out there just following along and doing what everybody else does because you don't have your own individual identity. We do. And we share that in our own way, our own personalities, from our own experiences and our own stories, and what we learn from those stories, and what we do with what we learn, and how people are going to judge it or not reflects them. So, yeah, inspiration. Many things inspire us. And what do we do with it, and why do we do it? You know, if we're doing it for good reason and good intention, good purpose, and people don't recognize that, that's not really our problem, even though people try to use what matters to us to hurt us. Like, I have a lot of books out there that came from inspiration. So I'm just trying to be careful how I word this. What we do with our experiences. So in other words, if we've been through some hard stuff in life, which most of us have, even if it's only us that feels that that's what it is, okay, what do we do with it? If we can take something that seemed bad and turn it into something good, some people call that alchemy. If you observe the way people that are strongly entrenched in religious ideologies or political ideologies behave, you'll learn a lot. Just to be an observer and watch behaviors. And underneath those behaviors are unresolved issues and unhealed wounds, and they might even be ancestral. Okay, so having awareness for it, having an awareness and being an observer means we don't have to react to it. I think sometimes when we react, that's our wound being poked. And when we notice ourselves in a space where we're not reacting as much, we know we've progressed. We know that we have healed or strengthened something. So honor yourself for the work you're doing. Peace.